You may be attractive to a woman. You may arouse her passion. But respect is on a whole other level. Respect cannot be bought with gifts, nor begged with words. It is not born from external attributes, clothes, money, grand promises. True respect only arises when a man demonstrates strength of character, calm, and fortitude. This is precisely what Stoicism teaches. To be stronger than circumstances, not a slave to emotions, but the master of your inner world. A woman can laugh at your jokes, play with your emotions, and test your patience. But the moment she sees a man who stands firm, like a rock in the storm, her attitude changes irrevocably. It's no longer a game. It's a recognition of strength. A woman respects not those who loudly proclaim their own importance, but those who know how to remain silent and act. She's drawn not to someone who tries to please at any cost, but to someone who is confident and doesn't need unnecessary approval. A man who follows Stoic philosophy becomes a special kind of personality. He can't be swayed by a casual word, led astray by someone else's mood, or thrown off balance by petty drama. And it's precisely this type of man that women respect most, because around him, chaos disappears and a sense of security emerges. Because such a man doesn't dissolve in emotion, but becomes a support. Because respect for him isn't forced, it arises naturally, as a recognition of strength that cannot be faked. And here it's important to understand. Women respect not the strength of a fist or loud words, but the invisible energy that comes from a man's inner calm. True strength is not demonstrated by shouting louder than everyone else, but by remaining firm and collected precisely where others lose their heads. First, the power of calm. When everything around him is crumbling, when people are panicking, when emotions are overwhelming, a stoic man remains poised. His voice doesn't waver. His gaze doesn't dart. His decisions don't waver. A woman senses this difference instantly. For her, such a man becomes an anchor. There's no fear with him because he doesn't succumb to the storm. The Stoics called it apathy, not in the sense of indifference, but as the ability to control one's inner fire. It's a state where the heart can beat faster, where circumstances may weigh heavily, but you don't let them control you. This is what makes a man respectable. He doesn't react to every little thing, doesn't get bogged down in verbal squabbles, and doesn't waste energy on meaningless emotions. A woman can argue with him, test him, even try to irritate him. But if he remains calm, her respect only grows, because in her eyes, such a man is not a toy of her emotions, but an independent force that cannot be broken by whim or hysteria. After all, calm isn't coldness. It's a demonstration of strength. It's the stillness in a warrior's heart before battle, when others tremble with fear. It's a still rock against which the waves crash. It's a signal, I am my own master. And a woman sees in this what she subconsciously seeks, a man capable of managing his own life and thereby providing support to others. In such moments, her doubts disappear. With him, you can be weak because he remains strong. With him, you can trust because he won't break first. And respect is the recognition of this strength. Second, emotional stability. A woman always tests a man not with words, but by his reactions. She might throw a caustic remark. She might suddenly start an argument. She might deliberately provoke jealousy. And she does this not because she wants to ruin the relationship, but because she unconsciously seeks confirmation of his strength. It's important for her to know whether he can handle her emotions, her mood swings, her outbursts. A stoic man doesn't play on emotional roller coasters. He doesn't turn every argument into a war or give in to childish resentment. His inner strength is like armor, impenetrable by the occasional arrows of irritation. A woman respects this because she understands that with such a man, she can allow herself to be different, and it won't destroy her. Stoic wisdom teaches us not to run from emotions, but to manage them. Epictetus said, "It's not things that disturb men, but their ideas about them." A man who understands this ceases to be a victim of emotions. He becomes the master of the situation. He can listen, he can see a flash of anger or tears, but he doesn't drown in the torrent. A woman respects a man who can remain on top even when her own emotions are overwhelming her. For her, this is a sign of maturity. Such a man doesn't seek pity, doesn't demand endless apologies, and doesn't break down because he's misunderstood. His steadfastness builds trust, because in reality, a woman doesn't respect weak emotional dependence. She might pity a man who's broken, but pity never breeds respect. Respect only emerges when a man is able to withstand the blows of fate and the beatings of his heart without losing his core. A Stoic man isn't someone who feels nothing, but someone who doesn't let feelings dictate his life. And that's precisely what makes him respectable. He's not a slave to his moods. He's his own master. Third, focus on actions, not words. A man can talk for hours, promise, swear, and convince, but a woman sees his true worth only in his actions. Words may sound beautiful, but they're worthless if there's nothing behind them. A Stoic man understands this. He doesn't waste time on endless speeches. He builds his strength on actions. This is what a woman respects most. Her subconscious instantly distinguishes between someone who can act and someone who can only talk. She may smile at promises, but respect is born only when she sees a man say what he said and do what he did. He doesn't endlessly discuss, doesn't make excuses, doesn't look for excuses. He simply gets it done. Stoicism teaches us to see value not in words, but in actions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do what you must, and let yourself be distracted." This is a philosophy of direct action, where a man doesn't justify his own inaction by circumstances, but seeks a way to accomplish a task. For a woman, this is a key signal. If he keeps his word in small matters, he can be trusted with great ones. If he can finish what he starts, then he won't abandon her when the going gets tough. And respect for such a man grows not because of his charisma or eloquence, but because of his reliability, proven by his actions. A man who acts, not just talks, is becoming a rarity in a world where most people drown in promises. This is why women respect Stoics. They see them as men for whom words aren't just empty words, but a personal duty. Fourth, boundaries and self-respect. There are men who are willing to give up themselves for a woman, violate their own principles, and forget their own goals just to please her. But this never engenders respect. A woman may exploit such a man, she may even pity him, but she cannot respect him. Because respect only comes to those who know how to maintain boundaries and not betray themselves for the sake of another's mood. A Stoic man knows that his life is his own, and his values are not negotiable. He can love, he can care, he can be accommodating, but he never completely loses himself in the desires of others. His boundaries are clear, and this is what makes a woman take him seriously. The Stoics taught that the most important thing is to live in harmony with nature and reason, and that means, above all, respecting oneself. A man who respects himself won't allow himself to be treated like a toy. He won't tolerate humiliation or play other people's games, because his inner core is stronger than temporary temptations. A woman respects a man who can say no without flinching, who can calmly explain what he won't allow without making excuses or resorting to shouting. For her, this is a sign of strength and maturity. In her subconscious, it sounds like a signal. This man values himself, which means he can truly value me, too. Self-respect is the foundation. Without it, a man becomes easily broken and exploited. But with it, he becomes someone who cannot be led astray. And it is this core that makes him worthy of respect in a woman's eyes. Fifth, independence from others' approval. One of the biggest mistakes men make is living for the opinions of others. Some strive to earn the respect of their friends, others chase likes and the approval of the crowd, and still others try so hard to please women that they forget who they really are. But a Stoic understands a simple truth. The more you depend on others' approval, the weaker you become. A woman respects a man who doesn't seek validation of his worth in her eyes. He doesn't need to ask, "Are you sure you love me?" He doesn't need to beg for praise every day. He doesn't need to depend on her mood. He knows who he is, and that's enough. Stoicism teaches that what's beyond our control shouldn't dictate our inner state. Approval and criticism are just such things. Today you're praised, tomorrow you're criticized, and if you build your life on that, you'll forever be a prisoner of other people's words. But a Stoic man is free from this dependence. He listens, but doesn't become a slave to other people's emotions. A woman senses this freedom instantly. When a man is calm within himself, when he doesn't vacillate between joy and despair over her words, when he can smile even at criticism, her respect grows, because she sees that he's not a child who needs constant attention, but a mature man standing firmly on his own ground. After all, deep down, no woman wants to control a man who is too easily controlled. She needs someone who maintains his center. And that's precisely why she respects those who don't seek approval, but simply follow their own path. Sixth, responsibility and action. The world is full of men looking for excuses. Some blame the state, others their parents, still others women. But a Stoic understands, shifting blame never makes you stronger. True strength begins when a man takes responsibility for his life, his decisions, his mistakes, his victories and defeats. A woman respects precisely these kinds of men. Those who don't say, "It's because of you," but admit, "It's my choice." Those who don't make excuses, but seek solutions. Because responsibility is always an action. A Stoic man doesn't wait for someone else to solve his problems for him. He takes the first step, creates his own path, and accepts the consequences himself. Stoicism teaches, we don't choose what trials befall us, but we always choose how to respond to them. And a woman sees that if a man isn't afraid to shoulder the burden of circumstances, he will endure her, his family, and any blows of fate. This engenders respect at the deepest level. She doesn't need someone who will complain and look for someone to blame. She needs someone who will say, "Yes, it's difficult, but I can handle it." Such a man becomes a pillar of support, someone she can trust. And a woman's respect grows not because he's perfect, but because he takes responsibility for himself. This is what distinguishes a Stoic man from most. He doesn't wait for the right conditions, doesn't rely on luck, and doesn't shift the burden onto others. He takes action, and in a woman's eyes, that's true masculinity. Seventh, a man as a support. In a world overflowing with anxiety, fuss, and chaos, a woman seeks more than just passion and emotion. She seeks support. And a Stoic man becomes precisely that guide. He doesn't chase illusions, doesn't change his mood every 5 minutes, and doesn't crumble under the pressure of trivial things. His stability creates an atmosphere of security. A woman may be strong, independent, and self-assured, but even she unconsciously gravitates toward a man who can become her safe haven. This doesn't mean he oppresses her or deprives her of her freedom. On the contrary, his inner strength allows her to relax, let go of tension, and truly be herself. With him, she stops playing roles because she knows he won't break or betray her trust. Stoic philosophy makes a man just that: calm, mature, and utterly clear. It's not coldness or indifference, but a special inner stillness that's stronger than any storm. It's this inner stillness that turns a man into a pillar of strength, one you want to return to again and again. A woman respects him not only as a partner but as a person, because being a pillar of strength is always more than just a relationship. It's a quality of the soul that remains with a man in any circumstances. Women can be attracted to many different types of men: charismatic, passionate, flamboyant, but they respect only those who are self-controlled. Stoicism shapes these men: calm, steadfast, independent of others' opinions, true to their boundaries, and responsible for their actions. Ultimately, a woman's respect isn't the result of manipulation or cunning games. It's a natural response to strength that can't be faked. A Stoic man doesn't demand recognition or pursue it. He simply lives in such a way that respect comes naturally. A woman may fall in love with many different men, but she will only respect the one who stands firm, like a rock amidst the waves. Because respect is the recognition of true strength, and it remains forever with those who have not surrendered to the chaos of life.